Welcome, everybody, to another stream from Wolverine Studios of our Draft Day Sports Pro Basketball 2020 Dynasty. We are back here. In our last stream, we went through our first season with our new Phoenix team, finishing with a 44-38 record, making the playoffs, losing in the first round due to a devastating injury in Game 1 of that series, which we won, to our star offensive player, Ernest Mooring. We are now faced with heading into the off-season, and it will be our second off-season with this team. We want to thank you for joining us for this stream and your continued support. We've been able to reach the affiliate status here on Twitch very quickly, which means there are other options available now in the room. We're still getting the hang of this, so we appreciate you kind of coming along for the ride with us as we get started here. If you do have the opportunity to subscribe to our stream, we'd certainly appreciate that. Otherwise, make sure you are at least following and have notifications turned on so that you know when we go live. We've been doing our live stream every Tuesday night at 7:30 Eastern Time, and we've thrown in a couple of other streams on some Fridays and things like that. So definitely want to have notifications enabled so that you know when we're playing. If you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat room, in the chat box. If you want, talk about this game, other games, anything you want to talk about with us, we're happy to do that. As we said, we're going to prepare for the lottery. We made the playoffs, so we will not be getting but we'll still see how things end up here as we move through the lottery. And it looks like Philadelphia has won lottery. Philadelphia was the team we almost took over after getting bounced out of Orlando. They had the second pick in the draft last year, and we decided Phoenix would be a better building option, a little bit quicker, and they end up with the first pick this year. So Philly should be a team that's coming up in the future. Let's take a look at the awards and see if any of our Phoenix players are award winners this season. Disappointing that Devin Watson was the Rookie of the Year. I thought we had a chance at that one. New York was the champion, so no surprise that their coach is Coach of the Year. All-League first team, Ernest Mooring. That was our free agent signing. If you were in on some of the early streams, you might remember that name. He was on our Orlando team, and we picked him up in free agency this summer when we took over Phoenix. Nothing else there on the second team for us, and nobody on the third team. All defense, first team, nobody. Nobody on the second team. All rookie team. Disappointing not to see Childress there, but he doesn't make the all rookie second team. He won Rookie of the Month a number of times, so I thought he might have a chance at it, but he's all rookie second team at the point guard slot, which is not too bad for a guy we picked 17th or 18th, and all the experts on the panel said that was a crazy pick and that, what were we doing? So I guess we showed them wrong, huh? But I credit the in-game coaching staff for the job they did there. Let's take our phone call with the ownership. I think I was pretty pleased with the performance that I had there, and we'll come back. So we'll be back for next season. Let's see if we lost any of our job security. Nope. We were pretty close on the player budget. We made the playoffs. We kept rushing. So we did a good job hitting the goals. We've had 4 seasons and made the playoffs all 3 seasons in Orlando and the first season here with Phoenix. So pretty successful so far. No big success. No championships or anything like that yet, but we'll get there as we advance through the off season here. Today's the ownership call for next season. I'm going to say that we should be a playoff team, and I'm going to keep it right about the salary cap, because I don't think we'll have too many changes this offseason. So pretty much the same demands as last season, and we can live with those demands. Those are meetable options. Let's look at our contract situation real quick, just to make sure we can stay there. The players we have under contract will be $105 million. We'll have a draft pick in there. We could throw the mid-level. We're probably going to end up a little bit higher than what we promised we'd spend, but I don't think it should be in luxury tax territory or anything that kind of endangers possibly getting fired for. Today is the 20th in the game, so we did the meeting with the owner. We're going to be going into the coach hiring phase next, and our coaching staff is empty because everybody's contract had run out. I wanted to see what they would do for a season, and they were okay. So, but it gives us the opportunity to kind of look around and bring in anybody that we want to now in the off season. And thank you everybody for joining us here. If you haven't tried the game, you can go to www.wolverinestudios.com. You can get a free demo of this or any of our other games and give them a try. Feel free to drop anything in the chat room. I'd like to spend time interacting with our customers and our friends, and that's kind of the most fun that we've been having on Twitch so far, is being able to connect with some of our customers, our friends, our followers in a new way. So we're really excited to do that. That's the way we like doing these streams, and I thank you for your support that let us get to the affiliate status so quickly. All right, time to look for a coach. Let's see, we can kind of start by strategy and see who's available. We have about $7 million we're looking to spend overall. Alvin Meyer was our coach here. He's done an okay job over that time, but still sub 500. But we can see his ratings solid for evaluating offense and defense. Not bad at player development, not bad at strategy. He wants a lot of money though, so I don't think we'll be bringing him back under those terms. Tavares Scott, 47 years old. He's got 2 years of head coaching experience. Let's take a look at him, see where he's been. 2 years of coaching experience in the D League as a head coach, and he was Detroit's assistant. Let's see. Is there anybody who's got a decent record out here? Not a whole lot. Not much to go on here. And so we may be giving somebody their first opportunity as a head coach. Let's see. I'm not crazy about his player development. I would like somebody who is better at developing players. Victor Williams, good on evaluating potential and decent at player development. Strategy is important too for those. One of the things I like to do here in the stream is kind of give out tips as since I created the game, I can kind of help along with some tips. Strategy is important because in the game it gives you a hidden boost depending on how good the strategy is. It's nothing that would be, earth-shattering in the game, but it is a tiny boost. So if you have a coach who has a high strategy, you do have slightly more success than coaches with lower strategy ratings. But I'd like a mixture of strategy and player development. And Victor Williams looks like he might be. He's not been very successful in Portland though, so that's disappointing. We may not want to give him another try then. Looking out who else is available. Player development, if we search by that, Mark Swift. Okay, see, Meyer was solid. I mean, maybe we could offer him less to come back what he's looking for. We can try that. Let's see if he'll take. Maybe we'll give him $5 million, 3 years. We'll make the offer. I'd like to get our head coach settled before we start spending money on assistants. So we'll see if Meyer will come back for that, or if he'll consider it at least. Meyer will not work for that kind of money, and he wants a longer contract. So that's not going to work there. Let's take another look at who else could be out here. Eddie Largent, Anthony Campbell, Richard Muller. I'm looking for somebody who could be. Let's see, Largent had 4 years of experience in the D League. He did win a championship the first year in the D League. And he's willing to work cheap. Just under $3 million is what he's looking for. A decent development, okay strategy. I think that's where we'll go. We'll offer him a nice round, $2.9 million, and we'll try 3 years on that. We'll see if we can bring in Eddie Largent as our new head coach. He wants a little more money. Okay. We can consider that, or we can go back to Tavor Scott. Tough call. Mark Swift is also excellent at player development. He has never been a head coach. He's been Toronto's first assistant. Well, let's go. We will give him a chance. See if he wants our job. We'll give him the $3.1 million, and he wants 3 years. We'll give him 3 years. So I mean, he looks like he could be better than Largent. So let's give an offer to Mark Swift and see if we can grab him as our head coach. And yes, he takes the job. So Mark Swift will be our new head coach. 3 years, $3.1 million a year. Now we can look to fill out our staff here. For our top assistant coach, again, I'd like to find somebody who has some solid player development, because we have young players. We need to develop them. I'd like somebody else who can offer us something in terms of evaluation for potential. Damon Bennett, he's been a head coach before. He took Chicago's second assistant job last year. He could be a guy maybe we look at as his top assistant role. Let's offer him 1.5 for 3 years. Let's see who else might be interested as a second assistant. Sam Holcomb. What do we know about him? He's been Atlanta's third assistant. So he might welcome a boost up to the second assistant level. And we can offer him $800,000 for 3 years. I messed that up. He's got to be the second assistant. I'll have to fix that. I'll make the offer for second assistant, and let's go back and fix our offer on our first assistant coach. He's going to get the $1.7 million for 3 years. Oh, we did it again. Wrong. All right, we got to go and our second assistant coach here. Should be Holcomb. Let's change it. Make it work right this time. All right, let's. So we have Bennett signs as our first assistant, Holcomb as our second assistant, and we need to hire a third assistant coach. Here, I think we need to look for somebody who will work a little cheap. Goldwire has good player development. Let's offer him $500,000. See if he'll take that. Nope, he wants more money. All right, we'll give him $750,000. See if we can bring him in. Finish out our coaching staff here. All right, so Goldwire signs to be our third assistant coach. We have our staff set now. And Mark Swift, our new head coach, $3.1 million a year. Benham at 1.7, Holcomb and Goldwire at about 1.5, 1.6 combined for those two. So pretty good job there filling out our staff. What is our overall staff budget is $8.7 million. So 4.8. So we've got enough money to up our training staff budget. The higher you put the training staff budget, as you can see, it will impact the ability of players to avoid injury or recover faster. So it's a good idea to leave what you can left over in the budget so you can spend appropriately there. So excited about our new staff, and we'll see, hopefully evaluating the potential from our head coach and top assistant, along with my ratings here, will help us find another gem in the draft. We'll get ready for the workout session here, and see. We have both of our picks in the draft this year, so that'll be an opportunity for us to bring in, hopefully, 2 useful players. Let's take a look at the media. I always like to look in the league magazines here and check out the rookie guide and see who we are projected to take. And we scroll down, and they're suggesting Damone Ross, 6'9" center from Seton Hall. Seems like he's somewhat of an inconsistent player. If we take a look at our roster, we can kind of see what our needs are. Childress was our first-round draft pick last year, so we're okay at point guard. Mooring and Rushing are stars at the small power forward spots. Willis did a decent job scoring for us off the bench last year. Roy, he's a guy I think has good potential. I'd like to see this new coaching staff get something more out of him than the last one did. That was frustrating that they didn't really bring him along very well, because he was a player I targeted back in the Orlando days, and I'm surprised to see that he hasn't reached his potential yet. And he's been in the league 3 years already, so you'd like to see more of that jump there. He's got 3.5 star potential. He's only at 2.5 right now. So I think we're still in a position where we can take best player available, even if it was a forward. Mourning is a veteran, so he will move on at some point. But we definitely, other than rushing, we have, as a long-term guy, and he's young. He's only 26 years old. So that's the only spot we really don't have a need to fill in the future either. So we can take a look and see what's out there. One thing I like to rely on is the coaching staff's ratings. And I look for anything there's a big difference, from what they're seeing to what the Wolverine Studio Sports Network is reporting here for the, is their projections. That helps identify players that might slip through the cracks. Here's one, for instance, Odie Williams, a point guard. We say he's got 3-star potential, and they're looking at 1 star on him, so he could be a guy that, just like last draft, we could target and maybe bring him in later in the draft as a sleeper or as a second round pick. So let's bring him in, see what we can learn about him. Again, we have the 19th pick in the draft, so there's really no point in working out the top players. They're not going to fall anywhere near where we would be. Matt Dieter, another guy here who's possible 3-star potential. Let's bring him in. Keith Willard. He's projected to go 11th, but we could use a shooting guard. And he's got okay numbers. Let's see what his combine results were. Not solid shooting off the dribble. Okay 3-point range. Okay catch and shoot off of the cuts. Kind of small for a shooting guard, though. So I don't know. We might not take a look at that. Jesse Van Dyke, where is he? So he's slated to go 21st, and 7'3". That could be a guy that we want to target for sure. So let's give him a workout. If Roy doesn't pan out as a center, we definitely could use somebody at that spot in the future. Another discrepancy here, Terrence Watkins and Dupree Stone. Both of those guys might be guys we want to bring in and look at. Watkins, excellent shooting at the combine, so let's bring him in for sure. Stone, pretty average. I don't think we do need a shooting guard, though. Although his college stats weren't very good, so I think maybe we'll keep looking. Alan Lynch, let's see, where is he projected to go? 22 to Houston. Another guy who could be maybe underrated. Let's see what he did at the combine. Not great shooting. Pretty average college stats, but good rebounds, good steals. He could be maybe a defensive player. So let's bring Lynch in. Ben Thomas. Let's see, is he projected anywhere up here? I don't see him. Let's look at the combine results. Solid shooter off the dribble, not bad for 3-point. So we'll give him a workout. Let's see. Here's an interesting one. Robert Crean, just 1 star for the Wolverine Studios Network, but our staff is calling him a 3-star player. He's 6'9". That's interesting that it's that big of a discrepancy. We'll bring him in and see if maybe he could be a second round pick for us. A couple of shooting guards here. Brendan Dye, somebody at the Wolverine Studios Network, is rating higher than us. Same thing with Hewitt Wingfield. And Wingfield's projected to go 26. Remember, you see a lot of 2 stars, 3 stars potential, and you think, wow, everybody in this draft is terrible. But in the game world here, a 2-star player is a guy who will play in games. 2.5, 3-star guys are capable starters in the game. So it's not like everybody in here is going to be rated 4 stars, 4.5 stars, 5 stars. When you see those ratings, that means it's truly the possibility for an elite player. So I don't get nervous if you see a lot of 2-star guys and you think, well, I have to use a first-round pick on a 2-star guy. Something late in the first round, if you get a guy who's going to be a starter, possible starter, a 6th man, and that's pretty good. That's kind of what you're looking for there. We're going to keep looking for kind of the inefficiencies here between the 2 and C, if we can figure out which is the truth. Dixon is 15th, so at least projected, he's a guy who could flip to us pretty easily. 1-star guys, 1-star guy's not going to do much for you, but a 2 or 3-star player, he could be pretty useful. Let's go back here and let's see if we can find somebody who could be a defensive player that might slip through into the draft. Let's see where Whitney Allen's projected. 20th. Excellent steals and blocks. He could be a guy that fills that center role for us. Let's see, Solomon Martin. Nice scoring in college. And we do need a shooting guard. Shot the ball extremely well in 2-point range, off the dribble, off the cut. Okay, 3-point. It's not terrible for 3. So he's projected to be a top 10 pick. I'm kind of interested in working him out though, just to see. Maybe he's a guy who could slip down a little bit. Seabrooks is going to be toward the top of the draft, probably. He's projected 8th. He averaged 30 points a game in college. That's pretty awesome. Jabari Cooper and Carl Stooks. Let's see. Cooper projected 14th. I didn't see Stooks on that list. Let's look at their combine results. Again, the combine results aren't all telling, but at least gives you a look at what these guys might be doing. Both of them shot the ball terrible at the combine, though. So I'm not really big on bringing guys who shoot terrible. Gordon's supposed to be a top pick. This is interesting. Andrija Mermic, top 10, but it depends on how comfortable teams are with the scouting from Croatia. Let's see if we can work him out and see if anything happens there. Nick White, excellent score. He'll go early in the draft. Keith Willard didn't shoot off the dribble well, but he shot catch and shoot, and from 3 decent. So he might be a guy projected 11th. We can work him out. Some of these guys might end up falling and be an opportunity for us. Let's take a look at the 3-point in the combine and see if anybody else really shot the ball great from 3, because you can always use a 3-point shooter. And Josh Jackson, Theo Marquise, Gaines, Bierbaum. Let's look at their stats and see if he's a guy from Germany again. So we didn't scout overseas, so our staff doesn't have any projections on that. So it would be worth bringing him in. He averaged 20 and 10 in Germany. Gaines didn't do much. Neither did either of these guys. So probably not worth looking there. Jerry Bennett from Virginia Tech. Where is he projected? Projected 23rd. Interesting stats. 2 blocks a game, 23 and 10. Possible 4-star potential. I'm going to take him, and I'm going to throw him on my draft board. You can throw players on a draft board. It's kind of like an extra way to note them. That's something that I'm interested. If he's there at 19, if we could pick up a 4-star guy there, that would be fantastic. We've got 3 invites left we can use. Marquise Kamara had nice stats. And again, I don't want to necessarily scout all the picks for our 19th pick. You know, I do want to find some guys we could use in the second round. And maybe that's where we should look at a guy like Marquise, because he shot the ball well at the combine. We need a shooting guard. It could be a late round project. Same thing with Gaines. He was another guy who shot the ball well. Let's see. Let's look at players who are heavy on outside shooting too. If anybody shot the ball really well, Matthews did. Let's see. I'm kind of interested too in Ross, just because it's who is projected for us. 17 and 12. Those aren't bad numbers, so we'll give him an invite. But I think our top overall guy is going to be Jerry Bennett that we're looking at. So we are set with our workouts. We can run those and get ready for the draft. While we're doing that, thank you for taking the time to join us on the stream tonight, where we are simulating part of the off season here as we get ready to head into our 5th season of the stream here. It'll be our 2nd with Phoenix. We can take a look as our free agency evaluation memo has come in. Josh Siller would be a guy I'd love to have. Jesse Carson too, but we don't have the money for that. Those guys are going to get big money. Scott Oliver is a player we looked at before. Doesn't look like we'd have much of a chance at him. Rich English, Popoff too. Wow, there's some big time free agents this year. Rich English, we could give him a starting gig. He's close with rushing, so that might be something that works in our favor. We'll make a note to look him up as we get into free agency, and we will have our mid-level exception. Nobody else looks like a link to our team, and this does make a difference. It can be a deciding factor if he's close money-wise on something else. It could be a difference in being able to bring him in. So we'll take a look at him later on. We'll save it right before the draft here. Going into the draft, I don't think we're looking at really moving up at all. I think we're pretty happy with where we're at. We can go back to the workout screen too and look at the players that we decided to work out. And you could always set your draft board here too. Let's see what we learned about Jerry Bennett. Be on defense, good work ethic, excellent free throw shooter, good defender. I'm kind of interested there. I'm kind of interested in seeing if he's the guy. Let's see what we learned about Ross. B scoring, B rebounding, A defense. Not a great work ethic. So that could hurt if we think he's not going to get to his true potential. So Bennett seems to be the highest player we worked out that in terms of potential. Mimic A in scoring. So we didn't scout over the season, so we don't get this sort of data, the floor range and the ball actions. And as you click on again, that you didn't bring in for a workout, you don't get these scouted ratings. So that's why the workouts are important. It gives you those scouting ratings. All right, let's go to the draft and see what happens. So Philly is up with the first pick. Let's see. We'll do it. And as expected, they take Tate Johnson. 20, almost 27 a game, 15 rebounds, 2.7 steals, 7 assists. This guy seems like he is the total package. So maybe we should have taken that Philly job. We could have ended up with a couple of really nice high picks. But we're happy with where we're at. As I said last time we did the draft, I could spend an hour just doing the draft, going slow, watching all the commentary, stuff like that. If there was a player I was really looking to target, I would go slow and kind of maybe make a move if we needed to. I'm interested to see where Bennett falls, though. Wow, after our staff has done some more review work here, Mimic and Bierbaum, 5-star potential players. So yeah, they've updated their views here for the draft as we get more evaluation with my own evaluation as the in-game ratings in there. So some interesting players here. Willard, that shooting guard with 4-star potential. Kind of average ratings across the board, though. I'm really interested to see where Mimic and Bierbaum go. Mason, it was supposed to be a high pick. I don't think we'll have a shot there. Whitney Allen, too, is interesting. A stealing. Well, let's go back and take a couple picks here and see what happens. Eddie Gordon, that wasn't a guy we were targeting. There goes Mason to Atlanta. Adam James to Los Angeles. No, I don't think we have a pick where we could move up. Oh, there goes Mimic. Yeah, I guess Portland had done their scouting work on him too. We don't have any assets, I think, that we could move up really high. I don't know that that anybody would be interested in swapping down from 6 to 18 or 9, wherever we're at. Plus a first rounder next year. I don't think that'll work. I'm interested in Bierbaum, though. Let's take a couple more picks and see if he stays on the board. There's Seabrook. So if we look at the mock draft, says Bierbaum could be available for us. I'm surprised Desmond Pack hasn't come off the board yet, but still early. There could be other things too that teams learned by working him out. We wouldn't have worked him out because he was too early. Let's see who goes 7th to Los Angeles. Nick White from Duke. That was expected. He had very good college stats: 24 and 9, 7.5 rebounds. Not surprising there. Sharon Ben Bassett. He goes 8th. 9th, Solomon Martin. And let's see who goes 10th. Jerry Bennett. Wow. So much for our sleeper hopes there as he goes 10th in the draft. That's disappointing. I thought we were going to sneak that, that in there, but I guess Washington did some scouting on him as well, and saw how good he could be. Still a couple of nice guys on the board here with Bierbaum and Whitney Allen. Desmond Pack, we didn't work him out. He had a fantastic stats. I would be happy if we could grab him too. I don't really want to use this pick on a point guard because we drafted one last year. But Pack, Allen, Bierbaum, possibly Willard, maybe Ross. I mean, his workout was decent. So there's at least 4 guys here that I think I really like with this pick coming up. So we're at 11 here. Let's go a couple more and see if somebody's available. We could make that move. I don't know if Golden. We could always. Let's see. We'll take it. There goes Lynch. I don't know. I don't know if we could move up. Although I wonder. I wonder why Pack is slipping. That's what's curious, because he has fantastic stats from college and played at a very good college. So I'm curious as to why he's slipping, and we didn't work him out, so we're not gonna know. We don't have a good overall rating on him. Still surprised that Bennett got taken, or disappointed at least. Maybe not surprised. Denver's on the clock at 12. Let's see who they take. And there goes Desmond Pack. Let's see, if we offered them 19, I don't think. Even the first rounder next year is probably not going to help with that. Denver may have gotten the steal of the draft there at the 12th pick. But there's still some guys on the board that I'm interested in here. Definitely Bierbaum, Whitney Allen, and Damone Ross. So I got 3 guys I like. We just need to hope that they can fall a couple picks. We've got to get all the way to 19. So let's see what San Antonio does. And there goes Ross. Ooh, that's a rough one. We're down to 2 now. So now there's 2 guys we have to start thinking about, can we move up? Especially with Bierbaum. So we've got Cleveland and Memphis, the next 2 picks. And really 2 guys I want to target here. Both of them, they were supposed to be available at 19, but I don't know if that'll be the case. Allen's at C in scoring, A in stealing. He could be a pretty solid defender, it looks like. And Bierbaum, we do have rushing at power forward, but we could always play a smaller lineup. There's no reason to not have a really good player. He doesn't have a great work ethic, according to our scouts. But still, 20 and 10, 2.2 steals, 1.3 blocks in Germany. I would like to get my hands on him. Let's see if we'll call up Cleveland here and see if there's something we can offer. How about a second rounder? No, that's not gonna. I don't think that's gonna do it. What if we offer our first in 2025? That could do it. And I mean, normally that'd be a lot to give up, but I mean, if we could get a 5-star player potential, maybe get them to throw in a second round that year. Let's offer it and see what happens. And Cleveland accepts. So we have moved up in the draft. It cost us a future number 1. And swapping down from our first rounder this year. But we do pick up a future number 2. So hopefully we'll be really good and they'll be really bad. And that won't be that big of a drop. So we're going to go into our war room, and we made this trade for one reason, and it was to pick up Bierbaum with that 5-star potential according to our staff. So that was a huge win for us, as we could get, a possible third member for a big 3, and it'll be up to staff to work him in with rushing and mooring. Let's see what the experts have to say. Even though the experts didn't know anything last year when we made our first round pick. Again, he's thinking that we jump early on Bierbaum, and he's going to go with us. So I guess he learned from last year that trust us in the draft, and we'll see. Let's see what else they have to say about our first round pick, Ewald Bierbaum. So they're saying he's not going to be much of a defensive player, and that could be okay if he's providing the offense that we need. Let's see who goes next. Jabari Cooper, Mike Milford, Andrew Stokes, Charles Moody, and Cleveland grabs Whitney Allen, the other guy we were liking. So it's possible that Bierbaum or Allen would have been there for our pick. Maybe we didn't need to make that trade to move up, but we took a chance and we made sure we got the guy we wanted. And if Bierbaum really does have 5-star potential, if we got him at 14, that would be amazing. Let's move ahead to our second round pick and see what's left when we get there. I see a couple of names go off the board there that we were looking at. And we have the 49th pick in the draft now. So let's take a look in the war room and see what's available. Our staff overall, nobody higher than a 2-star left. And nobody that the Wolverine Studios Network thinks much of it. Chris Martin is supposed to be a first-round pick from Indiana. We didn't bring him in at all, but we can look and see. We don't know anything about him other than he slipped out of the first round. Let's take a look. I do think we could use a center, shooting guard. Probably one of those positions is what we'll look for here. They're suggesting Aaron Walker. He's a point guard. I don't know. This guy might not even make the team. We don't have to keep our second round pick. Ed Demanby out of Wake Forest. Okay stats, but still projected this to be a 1-star player. Anybody who was a good rebounder? Thorne. Samuels from Oklahoma. Again, we're really just kind of throwing a dart here and hoping somebody sticks. Our staff does give him a 2-star potential at least. Tyson Reed is a decent shot blocker, and he's the suggested pick for center. Although Charles Nelson had better stats. So is anybody a great shot blocker? Not terribly. I kind of like Thorne's rebounding stats there. Samuels too. Well, let's see. Our staff says he's 2-star. So I guess that's all. Well, although maybe a shooting guard. I don't know. This is a tough call. I don't see anybody who's really looking outstanding here as a shooting guard. It's probably a guy we could find in free agency. But I guess we'll go with the guy who proved he could score at least a little bit here in college at a decent program. We'll take Ed Demandy. Solid ball handler. Shooting ability, work in progress. Aggressive defensively. That could be a good or a bad thing. I guess we'll see. We'll see if the experts have anything to say. We'll wait for that. Thank you again one more time for joining us tonight. If you are new to the room, we now have subscriptions available. So if you feel like subscribing to the channel, that would be awesome, especially if you have, if you're with Amazon Prime and have it linked to your Twitch account and you have a free sub every month. If you used it with us, we would be really happy about that. Make sure you're following us and have notifications enabled so that you know when we go live. We'll finish up the draft here. And if you haven't, make sure you go to www.wolverinestudios.com. You can get a free demo of Draft Day Sports Pro Basketball 2020 or any of our other games. And if you go there, note that we've just lowered the price too on Draft Day Sports Pro Basketball 2020. So if you like what you see here in the stream, you can go over there and get yourself a deal. But by all means, try out that free demo and play for yourself. You can see all these things in action. If you have any questions, you can always come back to our stream. We're streaming every Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We've also been streaming Friday evenings here and there. But if you have questions about the game, you see anything I'm doing in the game, anything you experience in the game, come into our stream. Throw your questions in the chat room. I love taking the opportunity to converse with our customers or just people who are interested in the game. So we made it through the draft, and we moved up to take Ewald Bierbaum from Germany, who our coaching staff that has 5-star potential. So we'll see if that works out or not. Today is the contract deadline, which means we have to handle renouncements today as well as rookie contracts. So let's go over to the contract screen. There's really no reason to renounce players because we're not going to have cap room. So we definitely want to hang on to the bird rights of players. Childress is a guy that I want to use our draft pick last year. We're going to pick up that third season for him. Jackson has a player option at the end of next year. He was just a backup center, so I don't know if we'll even be keeping him around. Mouton averaged 8.2 points per game for us last year. Played decent minutes, so I think we can throw a qualifying offer his way. We have to pay him $8 million this year. If nobody signs, if he does get an offer, we have the opportunity to match. Richardson was a player that we traded for last year. He was being underutilized in Oklahoma City and played pretty well for us, so I'd like to bring him back. So we'll definitely be keeping him. Mike Smith, I don't think we really have plans for him. So we can renounce him because it's not going to really change anything. Because we're not going to bring him back anyways. Higgins Hendricks. We might look at bringing him back if he's cheap later on. And David Price and Edmund Andrews are players who are on two-way contracts, so they'll be gone. So we've got, let's decide what we want to do about Mouton and two. I forgot that. I think we'll throw out a qualifying offer to him just in case. It'll be worth 1.9 if he accepts it, so that would be a bargain for him. So we'll throw out the qualifying offer, and we'll see if we can get him back. We could still make a longer-term offer on him if we wanted to, but we'll see if anybody makes an offer, and if they don't, he'll sign for us for 1 year for $1.9 million. So looking at our roster here, we've got 10 guys under contract, possibly an 11th with Mouton. So we don't have we don't have big needs here to do a lot of filling. We still might look up Rich English and see if we can bring him in with our exception. If he'll take that, he could be our starting shooting guard perhaps. We're all set for the contract day and get ready to move into Summer League after we do the scheduling for the season. And now it's time to invite players to play in Summer League. So we'll bring Childress back for another Summer League. Our second round pick, Demandy. Bohm could still use the experience, Bierbaum and Roy. So we've got a nice Summer League squad there with 5 guys who could do a lot of playing here in the summer. Mike Smith was the guy that we decided we would let go, but we'll bring him back just to see in the Summer League team and see if anything happens there. Again, Summer League, sometimes you can find a guy who surprises you. Barnes, an excellent defender. It doesn't hurt to bring in somebody like that who might be able to do something. Let's bring in Feek. We can bring Barnes in to be a backup point guard. Anybody who's a decent center we could bring in the backup? And we could use a backup shooting guard. Ivory's got decent defense. So we'll bring him in, and we'll go to Summer League. Mostly interested in just how our players do, but you never know. We might find somebody who could be a Summer League gem, as we did with Orlando in the one season. Well, looks like we picked up a Summer League victory. Mike Smith, Bierbaum, had good games there. Lost there. Baum, Roy, Childress all with solid games. Roy, 12 and 16. Baum, Childress again. Those three guys need to play a big role this year for our team. There's those three, our big three in the summer, Childress, Baum, and Roy. I'd like to see Bierbaum in that list since we spent such a high pick on him, but Mike Smith, 7 points, 12 rebounds there. Childress, Roy, Smith again, and there's Bierbaum. Looks like we lost there in the semifinals of the Summer League tournament. So no Summer League champions, but not a bad showing there. Let's take a look at our stats and see who played well. Childress, excellent Summer League there. We had a couple of injuries there. Ewald Bierbaum there, 10.7, 6.3 rebounds, 1.3 steals. Didn't shoot the ball very well, but we'll see. We'll see. So, getting ready for free agency. A quick save here. Let's check out the free agency guide in the magazine section. We will look at the overall players. I told you this is going to be an awesome free agency field. Scylla and Carson, both restricted free agents. They are two of the top players in the league. Drew Gresham, another 5-star player. Adam Field, a 5-star player. Scott Oliver. Popov has been a big guy for years in the league. Rich English was the guy that said he had the relationship with rushing on our team. I don't think that we'll be able to get him, though. He's going to be looking for big money, and we just don't have that. Let's see if there's anybody who is leaning towards us to be the favorite. We are not the favorite to re-sign anybody or to sign anybody, but that's okay. We've still got guys on our list that we can bring back with our bird rights. Terry Richardson will be a priority for us. He'll probably be our top priority because I thought he had some nice potential when we traded for him. So he'll probably be our top priority in free agency. And definitely I think we will want to bring back Hendricks. We'll be able to match any offers on Ron Mouton. And we'll see. We can always throw out an offer to English, but without any cap space and just having the mid-level to work with, we're probably not going to be a player for a while here in free agency. We might keep our powder dry, as they say, and look later on, see guys who are being overlooked that might be getting desperate that could take our exception. We do have to consider what we're spending, though. We do have it did say we are $11 million over the cap, almost $12 million over the cap, and we promised our ownership we'd stay near the cap, but that is counting bird holds for Richardson at 6.6, Higgins, Hendricks at almost 4, and Jackson has opted out of his contract to test free agency again. So those are all money that would come off the books if we sign him to cheaper deals or somebody else does. But that is going to do it for our stream tonight. We've gotten to the free agency session where we wanted to go, and we are ready to do that next stream so we can take some time. We're trying to take it a little bit slower now, show off a little bit more detail, and give you guys a chance to ask questions or see more intricate parts. We moved pretty quickly through our first 4 seasons, so we'll take the season a little bit slower, and hopefully it can be a good run for Phoenix here. We've got a nice team with some good young players, and I'm excited to see where our where our season goes. So make sure you're following us again, have those notifications enabled, and because we will be back next Tuesday for sure. We might throw in another stream somewhere between that. We're looking for kind of a second consistent time that people might want to tune in. So if you have any thoughts about times, you'd be like to watch, hit us up on our social media channels or our support email system so that we hear from you and we know how we can best do this stream for you. So thank you again for joining us, and make sure that you subscribe if you can, and otherwise make sure at the very least you get to our website and download a free demo of any of our games and get playing, and let us know if you have any questions. So thank you, and we will see you next time.